ಹಿಂದನೇಕ ಯೋನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಬಂದು ನೊಂದೆನಯ್ಯ ಇಂದು ಭವದ ಬಂದ ಬಿಡಿಸು ತಂದೆ ಗೋವಿಂದ. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Have you ever watched a wild elephant? Thousands of pounds of power, thundering and moving with no direction. Now, imagine a single, slender, one touch with great force, little gourd bends. That is what is Ankusha. So that is a gourd. In the lotus feet of the Lord, that is a symbol of gourd, the thing that even controls the strongest elephant. So today we're going to talk about something deeply personal, I will say, which is your mind, your karma, and the divine hand which is steering us. So in the scriptures, the gourd, the Ankusha, is one of the auspicious marks found in the lotus feet of divine. According to this particular book, the mark of gourd indicates that meditating on their lotus feet brings the elephant of their devotees' mind under control and keeps them on the right path. Your mind, which is brilliant, by the way, it's also restless and it's very powerful. It's like an elephant, powerful, strong elephant, sometimes wild. When it is left unguided, it stampedes, through fear, through anger, through doubt. But the Ankush, it doesn't break the elephant, it only directs it. So it honors the strength of the elephant while pointing it towards purpose. So the promise of the Lord is that those who turn toward the divine feet become superior among men. Just as one who rides on top of an elephant can travel very, very far, much further and longer than any other person. So I think for me, what this means is our journey, our experiences in life, it's never a punishment. It's actually positioning. The Lord is trying to teach us certain lessons. So it's a very personal thing. If you go to Kurukshetra, think of the greatest warrior, Arjuna. He's sitting on his chariot. His Gandiva is slipping out of his fingers. His eyes is filled with tears. His breath is shaking. And he's like, Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jivitena va. He's like, I don't want this kingdom. My dear Krishna, I cannot fight. I see my own teachers, my cousins, my family. Krishna, I would rather die than cause this destruction. His mind, right? Very powerful, noble elephant, but he wants to give up because he's lost the direction. So what does Krishna do? He doesn't scold him. He doesn't abandon him. He picked up the gourd, literally. And that gourd is the Bhagavad Gita. He is not using a weapon. He's not using force, but he's using wisdom. Verse by verse, truth by truth. In the second chapter, text 21 and 22, Krishna is saying, you are grieving for something that does not need grieving. And the wise lament not for the dead, not for the living. Then he's also speaking about just like a person is putting on new garments and giving up the old garments, the soul is also similarly accepting new material bodies and giving up the old ones. So here, Krishna is a supreme charioteer. He's using the Ankush, the gourd of jnana, of knowledge, to redirect the greatest warrior's mind back onto the right path. So that is the symbol gourd. It's not just some sentimental belief system. It's the state of consciousness we enter when we're meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord and the symbols. Each one has a very deep intellectual, philosophical, spiritual meaning. And for Arjuna, he stood up. The elephant rose, he stood, he fought, he fulfilled his dharma, he aligned to Krishna's will. Our obstacles are our Kurukshetra. And the divine Lord is already in your chariot. It's up to us if we allow him to use that gourd, the Ankush, to redirect us. Karmashayam gratitamudgratayanti shanta. So as Bhagavatam is describing this knot, every knot in your karma is actually a turning point. It's not a dead end. So the gourd, it doesn't punish the elephant. It says not that way, this way. Similarly, maybe certain relationships leave us. That's the Ankush situation. Maybe my plans are not working out. That is an Ankush situation. When my heart is feeling, I'm feeling forced to do this particular thing, but at the end, I'm actually feeling purified. That's the Ankush situation. It's not that divine things or devotional things always give us immediate pleasure. Krishna says that in Sattva Guna, it may start feeling like poison in the beginning, but then it's nectar in the end. But in the beginning, if we try to enjoy, then in the end it can be poison. So the divine is not absent in your hardship. It's not that Krishna is not there, because when we're struggling, it's not that Krishna is not there. He's most present there, actually. So the gourd in hand, just like he was present for Arjuna, he's steering you above the crowd, above the confusion, towards your higher self. What's the best thing for us? So things may be delayed. In Hindi, there's a proverb, Bhagwan ke ghar mein der hai par andher nahi. So there may be delays, but you're in the waiting room of God. How amazing is that? So you're not lost. You're being redirected. So I'm going to read something from this. This goad, it also shows that those who stay on the path toward their feet become superior among men, just as one riding on top of an elephant that travels far above the rest. This mark, when on Radharani's lotus feet, indicates that even though Krishna's elephant like mind attempts to behave like many different kinds of heroes, her feet are still powerful enough to easily conquer him and bring him under control. So, this is a very esoteric, how the acharyas are putting it, very esoteric. Yes, Krishna's lotus feet is very powerful, but Radharani's lotus feet is even more powerful because she can conquer him. So, this Ankush, the goad, is not a gentle one. It's not like the lotus. It's not like the conch, which are more softer aspects, qualities. But the goad is somewhere where the Lord could be disciplining us in our life. We can pray to their divine lordships, Shri Shri Radha Madhava, in this way. Wielder of the Ankush, you who tame the wildest of the minds with a touch of your grace, take hold of this restless heart today. When my thoughts stampede in fear and guilt and shame, when my karma seems tangled beyond repair, remind me that you are the chariot driver, Partha Sarathi. Remind me that the goad, the things that may prick me in my life, it's your mercy. It's not a punishment. Let me be like the devotees who turn toward your feet, elevated, guided, and carried above, always having deep, complete faith. Let me be like the devotee who turns towards your feet. Swan in the lake of Radha's devotion, flower crown of Raja, steer me, Madhava, who can be easily controlled by the god of Srimati Radharani. Guide me, keep me on the right path, so I can develop love for Shishi, Radha, Madhava. Today I had an amazing meeting with Rasalila Mataji and the devotees. Today I had amazing good fortune to have the Sangha of Rasalila Mataji and few Vaishnavis. And we were discussing about my grandmother, who actually had a very difficult life, materially speaking, but she was so focused. Anything that would happen to her, she would never feel victim. She would never think of herself as, oh, poor me. So this goad is a strong representation of when difficulties are pricking us in our life. Am I taking it as Krishna's mercy, or am I just complaining and whining? The choice is ours. But this symbol of goad takes a little bit of mental strength to allow Krishna's mercy to guide us, to redirect us. Maybe the path we are on is wrong. So if we want to be redirected, there's going to be a little discomfort. So I hope this meditation for today helps you to prepare your heart, prepare your mind to see every circumstance as the plan of the Lord. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Thank you for your comments and your blessings. If you have any realizations, I would love to hear them. Please do comment in the comment section below.